Hello, everybody. Well, today we have a special tidbit of information, right? First of all, I'd like to ask you a question. Or let's go back one step. We've been talking a lot about soulmates and twin flames and these beautiful connections. However, we've also been talking a lot about toxic relationships and how these relationships, these twin flame relationships, are really very contentious, and they come here to teach us things, and you're learning together, and sometimes you just doesn't fit so much and you need to walk away. However, a lot of times we sit in that toxic mess because we think we need to, because it's a twin flame or soulmate relationship, and we have to sit into that in that relationship. But do we really have to? I'm going to ask Osa, and you will go back and you will see these beautiful talks we've had the last 2 weeks. But I want to speak to Osa about boundaries, because I think it boils down to boundaries. Do you accept that someone treats you badly? Do you accept that you treat someone badly? Because it's not always about you being treated badly, right? Or do you accept this messy, ugly thing that you think should be good, but it's really ugly? It's a very difficult, delicate place to be. What do you think, Osa? Hello, Osa.
Well, hello again.
Sorry, I got caught up. Right?
And Happy New Year. We're in.
Oh, thank you. Now. You too. To a beautiful, beautiful new year.
Yes, and wishes of abundance in whatever sets your soul on fire and make your heart smile. So
yes.
I want to put that out there. So
thank you. Right back to you, and just
yes,
about
this beauty
and abundance and happiness and just general well-being and just loving life, right?
Yeah, health and less chaos. And because, collectively, we are going through a lot of that. And that's not necessarily going to stop. But I think we learned to dance with it a little bit more this year and find other ways. So back to the relationship in regards to that, because I think it also goes hand in hand a little bit.
Yes.
And it is really these boundaries that we talk about and what we should accept and shouldn't accept. Should is a word that's, but I don't think that it's ever, I think in general, when is it ever okay to be mistreated? It's not.
No, of course not.
It's not at all. And when we, life is not just black or white, day or night, right? And it's more complex, if you will. But should it be so complicated is the question, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, so we can simplify it, right? Because we're also steered in so many ways culturally in, we should do this and we should not do that, and this and that. So there's so much information coming in, but really what it comes down to me, in a more simple form, is how we really connect with how to be treated and how we teach other people to treat us.
Yes, exactly.
And vice versa.
Yes. But, and sorry, I'm going to interject in 1 minute here. And it's also about a lot of times we get mistreated, and because we mistreat ourselves, right? Because we abuse ourselves in our self-talk.
Right.
But many times as well, we do the mistreating. So that's also not okay. So it's not always about someone mistreating us, because it's always a dance, right? It's always a dance.
Yeah.
So that's also, okay, good, bad, black, white, it's relative. However, it's not okay, again, to be mistreated or to accept it or to actually give it out to someone else. So where do you go from here, Osa? So where do you start it? So what happens when you're in this contentious relationship? You're feeling bad, you're being badly treated, and of course, when you're badly treated, your confidence level is way down, right? You feel terrible about yourself. So you're not only attracting this bad behavior towards you, you're beating yourself up as well, right?
Right.
So it's like a very messy, ugly situation to be in, and it's in this
Yeah.
terrible cycle.
Yes.
And you feel worse about yourself, and this cycle continues.
Right.
How do you break
It
out?
becomes a vicious cycle, if you will.
Terrible. How
Yeah,
do you break out?
absolutely. And there's always things where, again, it goes both ways, like you said. But then,
Yes,
of course, there are situations where it's flat out you're being treated badly and or even abused, right? But
yes,
let's just
yes,
use the word toxicity, unhealthy. And when we anytime, I mean, a relationship is always about compromising, right? No matter what the relationship is. But now we talk about, intimate, romantic partnerships, relationships, and it's very much about compromising so that both people, like you said, dance and grow together, and
yes,
you find ways where both people are there for their highest good. So
yes,
that's
yes,
just it.
yes.
If you feel like you have to tiptoe around another person, walk on eggshells, you can't be yourself. And I don't mean being yourself as in, well, I have all the rights to burst out and, because I was triggered by this. That's not what I mean. I mean your values, your core, your good things, and your if you aren't allowed to fully express yourself
Mm,
for
mm, mm.
fear of getting shut down or projected onto, or that's never okay.
Yes. No,
And
of
to
course not.
me, yeah, go ahead.
No, you're right. And again, a lot of times it's so difficult. Again, I'm going to just reiterate on that. It's so difficult to get out of that cycle because you think it's okay, you think it's normal, and of course you think you settle because you think you don't deserve better than that because you feel so bad about yourself.
Or because you have conditioned or experienced it yourself, or it's just that you should just, well, of course there are certain things about a person. When two people come together, there's always going to be a lot of adjustments, right?
Yes, of course, of
So,
course.
and then there are some things that we might not super enjoy about the other person, but then you got to weigh those things, of course. Like, is this enough to actually be peeved about, or can you just let it go, or is it something bigger? And that's what we're talking about here, right? Not the little things.
No, not the little
Yeah,
things. The little things, you just let them go because, like you said, yes, of course,
right.
you come together, you're two different people, and you have to you have to
Right.
communicate and get to a place where you're both okay with each other, and then things will always come out. But I don't think we're talking about that. I think we're talking more about that actual, like, emotional toxicity, that
Right.
abuse, that
Right.
that that abuse would be, the speaking badly, shouting at each other, disrespect, dishonor, that kind of
Right.
heaviness, ugliness, where you're so afraid to speak up because you don't know if you'll be just blown out of the water or ignored or whatever it is.
Yeah, and that's, to me, when I think of it this way, just to be brief about it, it all comes down to, first of all, connection. It's all about
Yes,
connection,
yes, yes, yes,
and then communication. The four C's, I call them: connection, communication, courage, and commitment.
yes,
And those are words that might be obvious in some ways, but I think maybe we'll go a little bit deeper in it and see what that really entails. But it really comes down to having that connection within oneself first. Like, is this okay with me? And when something feels off, and you feel smaller, or you feel, in any way repressed
Yes.
of who you really are, then those are the times when boundaries need to be set, because otherwise we're never gonna be able to actually be joyful, because we keep repressing and accepting things that are not healthy. And all around, that's not going to be good for either or in the long run. Even if you feel that you're appeasing the other person just to keep the peace, that's also enabling them to keep doing what they're doing in
Of
a
course.
sense. I mean,
Of
to
course.
whatever degrees that is.
Yes, yes, yes,
So
and
yeah,
that's actually in a lot of ways that's being really cruel, and in a lot of ways it's abusive towards the other person as well, because you're allowing them to do that, and they don't learn out of it, and they don't grow.
yeah,
So people pleasing never works.
no,
So I think on that note, we've going to take this a bit further, and the details will be in the description box if you're interested. To just click on the description box and click further to where we will explain, and we'll dive deeper into these actual concepts, give you examples, and give you an opportunity to change that relationship, change yourself, or get something better, whatever it is. What do you say, Osa?
absolutely. It does come down to one's the self-fullness. That is something that I use a lot. So we're gonna get to that in the next, and break it down, like you said, and give some examples, and really empower, hopefully, people here to get on with their commitment to self, and that way you can better be with somebody else healthfully. So
Yes. So thank you, Osa. Thank you, everybody. Check out all the details in the description box below, and hopefully we'll see you on the other side. And let's play and let's create some magic within relationships. Thank you, Osa. We'll
thank
see you
you.
soon. I mean, we'll see you on the other side very soon, very soon.
Yes.
Thank you, Osa. See you on the other side. And bye for now.
Bye for now. Namaste.
Namaste.